Hello friends, it's Simone. I recently received a care package from my friend Amy. Yes, that Amy, who always sends me lovely care packages. She was recently in Japan and sent me a little something with all the things that she collected. She purchased several inks, and that's the reason for the package, but there were so many lovely things in there that I thought I would let you partake in the joy of unboxing this. And yeah, look at how nicely this is packaged. Sometimes I do other things well, but not packaging and wrapping things, that's for sure. So I already saved some of the uh, beautiful tape that was from Kiki's delivery service. And then I also put that envelope into my journal because I thought maybe I can salvage those two labels that she put there and add them to my journal as well. And then she also included one of those Starbucks Reserve coffee cup charms. And I have put it, I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, but I have actually put it on my notebook that I just showed you. I changed out the elastic and added some charms, and now it's super loud and noisy, and I enjoy that a lot. These are all washi tapes. I assume these are also washi tapes that she purchased in Japan. There's a little bit on there to share with me. It's weird to say, but I really appreciate that she only shared like tiny snippets with me. This way, if I add it to my journal, it's basically almost gone. And then maybe I'll add it to a letter or somewhere. And then she also gave me some note papers. This one by Leo Leoni is really pretty. I love his art style anyway, but yeah, having those note papers, which I'm never going to use, absolutely never, is cool. I'm very grateful. And then she made this envelope, folded it up. It's probably some origami paper, and there she included some sticker flakes and these. So if you're familiar with these stickers, please let me know what exactly they are. It seems like they are maybe Japanese prefectures. Is that the way to pronounce it? Yeah, I'm wondering what those actually are. But those were stickers, and then here are some coffee tickets. I like those a lot. Still haven't used them yet, but you know. And then she also included these stamp sticker flakes. And I am a sucker for everything stamp shaped. So those are cool as well. But why we're actually here is because she sent over 8 ink samples from brands that she found in Japanese stationery stores. And I am using this awesome vial holder by Fountain Pendulum. They sent over this specific one. It's 7 ink vials and a pen rest, and then a single ink vial holder for me to try and hopefully share on my YouTube channel, which I'm absolutely happy to do because the product is lovely. And if you have not yet checked out their store, they have a store online where they sell these products in various different colors, finishes. That's what I'm trying to look for. I am using my TWSBI Mini with a reverse architect grind to write the title. I have been loving this nib lately. I use it in my weekly journal, and I can have big bold letters as well as really fine writing. So I'm looking at all the inks. I have noticed at least one of them is actually not a Japanese ink. I found it. It's a Hungarian ink, but we will talk about that. But maybe that was just a new one. This is not a we are right and you are wrong. She found those and she shared them with me, and I'm forever grateful. I'm showing you this swatching video today because I have picked several of the inks that she sent over to ink in my August lineup. And so I thought, well, why not look at the swatches first before we do that? This is a collaboration between Kobe and Lamy, and it is a very light pink color. It is actually called light rose. And the question is that I've been thinking about or wondering is this ink a Kobe ink? And maybe the collaboration was an ink by Kobe and what was that called? A fountain pen by Lamy that matches the ink? Or is it the other way around? Is it both by Lamy? I don't know. And it's actually really hard to find out anything about those inks. I tried Googling, I tried adding them to my fountain pen companion, but if I'm not putting them in the same way as somebody else has, then I'm just creating a new ink entry and I can't find the same ink there anywhere. I really like the way that this ink dries. It seems like there is some blue included, and I'm actually in this video, I think in future videos I'm not going to do this anymore because it takes up so much time and I won't be able to ever share real-time swatching videos with you anymore. I'm also adding them to I'm calling it the Color Family Swatch book, where I put similar colors from the same color family on the same page, and I do a color, what is that called? Chromatography of the ink. And I'm not sure if there's blue in there. We will find out. When I filmed this video, I was still dipping it for 1 minute, but I have found that especially now when it's really hot and I feel like I'm repeating myself, but if this is your first video you're watching, you don't know that I now live in a pretty dry climate, and so previously where I lived before, there was still so much, the chromatography strip was wet, damp for much longer, so the ink was able to travel up the strip even when it wasn't dipped. And now I have changed that to accommodate for that dry climate here and the summer to 1 minute and 20 seconds. But when I did this, that wasn't the case. So now where's the chromatography strip? Let me check in my book where I put it, what the strip looks like. There's no blue. There is purple at the bottom and then it goes up to be pink, and that's it. Interesting. I am exploring this ink in the month of August somehow in my ink journal, and so I will do another chromatography strip, and I'm very curious to see if it's going to change. Just one chromatography strip might yield false results. You never know. I was talking about something before I started talking about the inks. The way I am doing my ink swatches. Let me tell you the ink first. It's Kobe ink again. It's from the Museum Link Lampwork. Museum Maroon. I don't know why I put 2 times museum. It's an exclusive museum ink, I guess. That's what I'm trying to get from here, and the Lampwork Museum, I guess. And then the color is maroon, and it is a really pretty, very muted maroon with purple tendencies. And I am really excited to put that into a fountain pen, but I haven't yet. The ink that I put in there, I can tell you already, is light rose, the first one that I swatched. And then another one that is going to be swatched later. So when I swatch my inks, I swatch them in three different places now. Previously it was only two, but now it's three. I swatch them on Tomoe River paper, the notebook that you see in the background, which is a standard size 52, I think, old Tomoe River paper that I purchased from Paper Penguin Co. And then I put it on a card. It was previously coloring card paper, whatever they used, but now it is regular mixed media paper from Canson. That's the one that I enjoy, that is closest to the paper from coloring. And so in order to not having to redo the swatches that I already did, I decided to go with a paper that seems, I don't know for sure, very close in properties to the one that was used in coloring cards. And as you can see, I have switched my whole swatching system to a Rolodex now. Yup, I finally caved. I just couldn't stand the little cards and flipping through them any longer, and I really enjoy the Rolodex. What I did in order, as I said, I didn't want to redo any of the swatches that I had previously done. I cut the cards that came with the Rolodex off at about 1.5 centimeters or even 2, and then I glued the swatch cards that I already had made onto the little strip. And so now they fit into this Rolodex thing. I want to film a video at some point in the future. I am currently at the point that I have grand plans for all the videos that I want to film. But when I sit down to film them, I am very uninspired. And so I'm just going with the flow and filming whatever video I feel like filming at that exact moment. So that it's on my list. We will see whenever it's on the channel. Then I had the compassion, that's not the right word, to film it. I don't know what it is, but it's just, this is how it is at the moment, and I'll just roll with it because I'm still filming videos. I'm still enjoying filming videos. I'm just not filming the videos that I want to share with you because you requested them. So the ink that I was swatching while I was talking about my Rolodex is a Kuretake Ink Cafe ink that I'm not sure if it's exclusive to Itoya or if it was purchased there. It's called Sumire Iro. I don't know. And it is a pink leaning purple, and I actually really like that one. It's another one that I would love to put into a fountain pen. It reminds me very much of Diamine Festive Joy, which is an ink that I have used previously in my Benu Brown Orchid, the Ambrosia one. But it looks promising. It might be one that could shade nicely, where the Festive Joy, at least in the fountain pens and nibs that I had them previously, was just pretty much purple flat. Next ink that I just swatched is Sailor, in collaboration with Hankyu. I think that is another stationery store in Japan. Now that I'm talking about Japan, I realize that I have no clue about stationery stores, it's like I hear those words and I read them and I feel like I recognize them, but now that I'm talking about them, I don't know for sure. So I believe it's a stationery store, and the ink is called Shimmer. And let me continue with the swatching. I swatch the ink on the swatch card that goes into my Rolodex, which is mixed media paper. I said that before. And then lastly, I add them to this wearing ghoul. And I think the Jacquard is the brand that is maybe a sister brand of wearing ghoul notebook, which has 9 ink bottles possibilities to swatch on every page. And I try to keep like colors together. That's why I call it color family, so that I can compare them later on. I have since realized that this is nice, but if I had really thought about this before, I would have not done or set it up the way that it is set up at the moment. But I still like it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying making the chromatography strips to be able to compare them. And I love looking at them. I see that there is some color families that I'm more drawn to than others, because I have several pages of colors, and some I barely have any, and can't even fill a full page. The ink that I am swatching is another Sailor Ink, and it's called Kononuma. It was either purchased at Itoya or is an exclusive at Itoya, and I think every ink that is labeled with ink was one of the inks that were at that ink festival, Inkunuma maybe? Is that what it's called? That happens in Tokyo? Only in Tokyo? Not sure. But that's actually something that's really great. Would you love to walk through basically a pen show that is not a pen show but an ink show? I think that is probably really fun. And if you listen to the Tokyo Station Pens podcast, then they have talked about these shows previously, and it really sounds like a lot of fun. Then the next ink that I'm swatching is Journalize. The brand is called Journalize. The line of Journalize ink is called Starry Night, and the specific ink of that line is Dark Matter. This ink is super interesting. It is a shimmer ink, and it is visible on the paper and in the writing. I have it in a fountain pen, and it actually is visible in the writing. But every shimmer ink that I have had in the past, the shimmer settled in the ink bottle or the ink vial, not in this ink vial. Either I can't see it, or it actually doesn't settle, and I find this absolutely fascinating. So yeah, that's what this ink is all about. I have this in a fountain pen as well, and I've been loving the writing experience. It's a really wet ink. I think I'm done talking about what I use for swatching. I know it's not like very cohesive because I keep coming back to it. If you have any questions about my swatching process, then please ask in the comment section down below. I'm happy to answer your questions. But none of this is necessary. None of this is required for you to use any ink. I also repeat that in every video. This is just what I have come to do when I first receive an ink. It familiarizes me with this ink. Because I'm using the same tools every time I swatch, even though it doesn't look like it, I am able to gather some high level info about the inks, about how it might possibly behave. And it's also just a really enjoyable process all together. So even if I wasn't doing this for anything but the swatching, I would still keep on doing this because I just get so much joy out of this process. And I just love color, I have recently realized the more I explore inks, the more I realize I cannot tell warm from cold colors. I thought I knew color theory, but obviously and clearly I don't, because sometimes it's true. Like a green ink is supposed to be cold because that's a cool color, but the more yellow an olive ink, it's warm. Don't tell me it's a cool color. That's not true. So I find it so hard to tell apart those, those borderline colors. Even blue. There's warm blues and cold blues. There's warm reds and cold reds. Oranges. Most of them are warm, I think. Yeah, but there's cool yellows and warm yellows. There's warm and cool tones of every color in the color wheel, and so it gets so hard to tell them apart. And the more I talk about that, the more I confuse myself. And so I'm like the worst at telling you what kind of color each color actually is. Which, do I care? Not really. It's color. I love it. And it brings me joy. It doesn't really matter if it's warm or cold. Cool toned. Sorry. I'm not even using the right verbiage here. So I have swatched this ink, which is Sailor in collaboration with Hankyu Hana Asagi. This is a teal ink, and it's lovely. Actually, all the colors that Amy sent me this time around are really lovely. They're awesome colors. They're colors that I would love to see in pens. Sometimes I do have inks when I'm like, oh yeah, nice, which in German you would say nice is the little sister of, I'm just swearing right now, Scheiße, which is the German translation for the word shit. They are nice. Not necessarily something I would really want to get into a fountain pen, but all of those inks in here are very lovely. And I prepared for, maybe I didn't put them in there. I'm super confused at the moment because I already prepared for 30 inks, 30 days in September. I just couldn't wait anymore. I decided I pick exactly 30 inks that I'm curious about using, so that limiting the inks that I can pick from. So I'm not going to pick from all the inks that I have in my possession. I am just picking from inks that I'm feeling right now, so that I'm not on September 15th, I'm like, ugh, do I really have to use this ink? No, I'm currently excited about them and I want to see them in a pen, but none of these inks that I'm swatching here is included in that basket, which is weird. So yeah. Yes, I am planning on doing 30 inks, 30 days. I will be cheating because I just don't... Okay, let me just quickly interrupt myself here. Flipping through the Rolodex is easier than flipping through, especially sharing colors like this, similar colors like this, but it's harder than I thought it was. It's not as easy as other people might make it look. So, just an FYI, I feel very clumsy when flipping through this. But yeah, I am going to cheat at 30 inks 30 days because I'm transcribing something that is quite important. I actually want to really learn about this, and I don't want to fizzle out halfway through. So I want to make sure that I actually stick with it for 30 days, even if that means that I am going to cheat. I'll take it. It's fine. Other people cheat in other things. If the only thing that I'm cheating at is 30 inks 30 days, I'm not saying that that's the only thing, but it might be, then that's okay with me and my conscience. So, is there anything else I wanted to say that I didn't finish? If you think I didn't finish a train of thought in this video, then please let me know in the comments down below, and I will try and figure out what is the missing part. Yes, I remember one of the missing parts. Amy told me that none of these inks were super exciting, and yes, those are just regular colors, but she chose absolutely well. All of those are great colors. They look like they're behaving well. They look like she'll be having lots of fun with all of them in her fountain pens, no matter the nib width. And yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to using all of those inks, which is not something that happens every time that I swatch inks, because sometimes an ink looks different online. Sometimes friends send me inks without asking, which is totally fine. This is how you broaden, or I broaden, my horizon, because if I wasn't sent inks randomly, I probably would be using the same 4 or 5 colors over and over again, which I do, but then I intersperse it with other inks. So while I was talking about random stuff, you saw me flipping through my Rolodex and holding up all of those cards to see if there were similar colors, and there are some. Oh, here is Festive Joy. So it's different. It's closer, I think, to Aubergine. Yeah, it's Mountain Breeze, maybe. So yeah, that's what I have been doing while I was chatting with you here. I hope that is... I feel like if I was talking about each of those inks, I don't like that. It seems like I don't have anything that is similar to Light Rose. But I am done with this video. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in another video. If you want to support me, I have a code with Atlas Stationers. No support, but support for you with Vanessa. There's a code as well. And I do have a Discord server now, and if you are interested, you are invited. Check out the link in the description box below. Until next time, bye!